15 Best Fights in Hunter x Hunter. Hunter x Hunter will go down in history as a great anime, and here are the best battles and fights the series showed to viewers in its episodes. As is the case with any battle shonen, there's a certain aptitude for spectacular, high-octane fights that can get anyone cheering for the hero, terrified of the villain, and crying from the outcome. The art of the fight scene is a special one in anime, as it shows the exact design trait that makes the creator special, if they're special at all. One of the greatest shonen series to date to master the art of the fight scene is Yoshihiro Togashi's Hunter x Hunter. Having already received acclaim from Yu Yu Hakusho fame, Togashi really makes the audience strap in for Hunter x Hunter as a fully realized magic system in nin, and the well above average ethical and intellectual analysis of the characters can make even just dialogue a tense battle. This list will be running down Hunter x Hunter's clear aptitude for the magical/martial arts, as it will go over the series' 10 best fight scenes. Fans have been waiting quite some time for the next chapter of Hunter x Hunter. Unfortunately, everyone may have to wait much longer. Yoshihiro Togashi doesn't seem like they will have a chapter ready anytime soon, even developing a record for its extended hiatus. While fans can only hope for more fights to come into the series, if any at all, here are a few more fan-favorite fight scenes to tide us over. Number 15. Gon vs. Nefertiti 2. This scene can only roughly be called a fight. While any good fight assumes some exchange between its competitors, the clash between Gon and Nefertiti was purely one-sided. Gon had been looking to avenge Kite throughout the Chimera Ant arc. However, he received a slight glimmer of hope when he discovered that Pitou might be able to resurrect him. When he found out the contrary, something within him just snapped. Nefertiti tried to take advantage of his confusion for a sneak attack, but Gon more than took her on as he succumbed to his nun. Sacrificing his very being for his hate, Gon turned into adult Gon and decimated Pitou. Number 14. Gon vs. Hanzo. Early Hunter x Hunter doesn't get enough credit for laying the groundwork for the series. While the latter portions are filled with intrigue, nin powers, and a variety of monsters, a Hunter exam just gave fans a taste of what was in the world and what Gon was capable of. Though he seemed incredibly capable throughout the arc, even against Hisoka, his most humbling moment came against the ninja, Hanzo. Gon was plenty fast and strong, but Hanzo and his elite training were just too much. Not wanting to give up, Gon had to continue this fight in a really quirky and creative way. Number 13. Gon, Killua, and Biscuit Kruger vs. Genthru and the Bombers. When Gon and Killua revealed that they were going to a video game world, fans may have been expecting a wondrous romp full of eccentric references to gaming. What fans didn't expect was an intelligent battle for resources and survival. Greed Island had gone on without a winner for a long time. Wanting to game the system itself, Genthru and his team used their bomb powers to steal and extort as many cards as possible. This would enrage Gon and his team. After Biscuit got through teaching Gon and Killua new nin abilities, and after they collected a good portion of cards, the trio waged a tactical battle against Genthru. Fusing nin with Greed Island's video game systems, this is one of the series' more unique bouts. Number 12. The Phantom Troupe vs. the Chimera Ants. While the Phantom Troupe was really well hyped early on in the series, they've gotten significantly less screen time after the Greed Island arc. This made their return during the Chimera Ant arc even more special. Unfortunately, the fact that they faced mutated ants did nothing to quell how terrifying the Phantom Troupe really was. The ants were equipped with a variety of powerful abilities on their own, but the troupe was looking to defend their home territory and kill some time. What ensued was a small reminder that the Chimera ants are just ants. Number 11. Morel vs. Leol. Morel really needs more screen time in the series. Every mission/battle that he's in is filled with such a refreshing sense of patience and intelligence that isn't frequently seen in battle anime. While hunters are often shown to be more like licensed martial artists across the series, Morel has shown fans just how terrifying a fisherman can be, and his battle of wits and survival against Leol only furthers that idea. Here are two characters with both power and intelligence on their side, and they treated the fans to an epic chess game between water and smoke. Number 10. Hisoka vs. Kastro. Kastro is an old enemy of Hisoka's who's trained and fought his way through the heavens arena seeking vengeance. Showing off intense power, skillful martial arts, and a strange Noonan ability, Kastro in the early stages could nearly throw one of the series' biggest villains. In retaliation, Hisoka begins a horrifying magic show and stealthy, tactful uses of nin to create a deathly trap. Supernatural powers were new to the series, and there's a very fine line in magic systems to veer towards simple power and one-shots, but Togashi handles this nice introduction with intelligence, showing vulnerability and talent in both sides, allowing intelligence and calmness themselves being the deciding factor. Number 9. Chrollo Lucifer vs. the Zoldycks. At the other end of the supernatural fight spectrum, Chrollo Lucifer's battle against the Zoldycks during the York New City arc was just a pure showcase of power. Killua's father and grandfather have entered the scene to capture the leader of the Phantom Troops, bolstering the sharp power of assassins. Chrollo on the other hand doesn't necessarily rely on power and strength as he shows off a variety of unique and complex powers, conveying strength through grace and strategy. While the conclusion was a bit of a bust, this scene had everyone at the edge of their seats trying to see what the power cap of the Hunter x Hunter world really looked like. Number 8. Hisoka vs. Gotoh. Gotoh is the Zoldyck family's faithful butler who gauges strengths with Gon, Kurapika, and Rio early in the series. And while he seemed like an absolute mastodon of strength then, in this fight, he goes up against an absolute master of the killing trade. This fight sees Hisoka on the defensive as Gotoh's gimmick of powerful, coin bullets reigns supreme through most of the fight. Hisoka however doesn't let up and prepares a trap of his own to take down the butler from hell. Hisoka is already established as dangerous, mysterious threat at this point, so it was interesting to see him face off against another person of tactful intellect and power. Number 7. Knuckle, Shoot, and Killua vs. Menthuthuyoupi. The Chimera Ant arc was terrifying on a variety of levels as it introduced an enemy whose entire gimmick was outclassing humanity in every with the added benefit of quick learning and evolution. Menthuthuyoupi is evident of that in raw power. Acting as the main vanguard for the Chimera Ant King, his sheer strength and aptitude for evolution are a constant obstacle against the hunters. Knuckle and Shoot by themselves struggle just to maintain just a scratch on Youpi. Killua chimes in with his own strategies, but the fight never really comes down to numbers, as the series shows off how intimidating and intriguing an overpowered character can really be. Number 6. Gon vs. Hisoka. Gon's fight against Hisoka at Heaven's Arena is a practice in victory in great failure. Gon's been training his hardest just to pay back Hisoka a punch while Hisoka's been laying in quiet anticipation of Gon's growth. While this fight is a powerful spectacle within its own right, its greatest aim is to show the great gap between the two, and Gon's growth as a fighter. He showcases here newfound strengths and senses of strategy, as he aims to surprise Hisoka. Hisoka, ever 10 steps ahead, makes this a learning experience as he toys with Gon. It's an incredible exhibition of character and power difference that shows that even great leaps of power are just small steps in this series. Number 5. Uvogin vs. the Shadow Beasts. During the Yorkness City arc, the Shadow Beasts in this fight were entering as the odds-on favorites and showed the confidence for it. They are the main vanguard for the Mafia comprised of their best nin users. In this instance, it was the aggressive power of rabid dog, the sharpness of porcupine, the parasitic nature of leech, and incredible flexibility of worm, bringing in a diverse team of nin experts that would give just about anyone else a run for their money. Uvogin, on the other hand, is a member of the Phantom Troupe whose display during this fight shows the insane amount of flexibility that just pure strength can offer, as this fight not only built him up as an intimidating terror but also the power distance between the Phantom Troupe and everyone else. Number 4. Kurapika vs. Uvogin. Kurapika's main arc throughout the series has been to hunt down the Phantom Troupe members as revenge for their slaughter of his people, the Gotoh clan. The troupe itself had been built up as this dangerous, cruel force up to this point, so seeing his revenge plot culminate in interesting growth was cathartic on some levels and downright unfair in others. But it functions incredibly well as unfair. As opposed to Gon's growth in his fight against Hisoka, Kurapika's fight shows his limitations and gauges the exact extent he is willing to sacrifice for his goal. The result of this is a brutal fight that showcases his new powers, as well as the intelligence and focus that he's taking into his plan. Number 3. The Greed Island Dodgeball Match. The Greed Island arc served as the premise for a few video game gimmicks as well as an opportunity to organically build a training arc for Gon and Killua. The culmination of those efforts as well as everything the series has taught about Nen thus far is showcased in this dodgeball match between the unlikely alliance of Gon's friends and Hisoka going up against a killer dodgeball player. This fight sees brutal power, sacrifice, strategy, and a slew of made-up powers to make this an above-average throwing of rubber balls, as the characters struggle just to keep the ball. Number 2. Chairman Netero vs. Morel. One of the greatest scenes to arrive from the Chimera arc is the roller coaster of strength and intelligence that is Netero vs. Morel. Morel is the king of the Chimera ants, a strange being born with overwhelming power and mental aptitude. To stop him, the Hunter Association brings in one of their strongest, most experienced agents, their chairman Isaac Netero. What ensues is a fantastical battle of wits and lethal blows as either competitor shows off the abilities of the world's strongest. It's such a tight match between two top-tier characters that the result inevitably ends up to endurance, focus, and a nuclear bomb. Number 1. Hisoka vs. Chrollo Lucifer. Unfortunately, the final and best entry on this list is one that has yet to make the anime, if it ever will. As a reward for giving him back his powers, Chrollo Lucifer has taken up Hisoka's request for a fight to the death. Not wanting to be restricted by rules of any sort, Chrollo and Hisoka agree to make this a battle to the death that saw either competitor use the arena in its entirety, including the unsuspecting audience. The very people who paid money to see this were subjected to mind control, explosions, and the involuntary subtraction of limbs, as two remorseless fighters used everything in their arsenal to get the kill. This fight might as well work in bookstores, as it more than sells the manga.